This is the discussion table with
Avery, he, they.
Ripley, they, them.
River, she, her.
And we will be talking about mental health and LGBTQ plus topics on this podcast. For this episode, we will be talking about how to react to and support coming out and actually introducing ourselves. So we realize we have not had any actual introductions. We just kind of started talking, and you guys had to listen. So here's a brief introduction of each of us.
Hi, I'm Avery. I'm in 11th grade. I am bisexual and transmasc. I enjoy reading, listening to music, podcasts, and books a lot. I also enjoy history. It's probably something I'll get into in the future, like career-wise and stuff, so...
I'm Ripley, and I also go by Dionysus because Dionysus is cool. I use they, them pronouns, as you know, and I'm agender, which means I lack any connection to gender, and I'm pansexual, which is almost the same as bisexual. In case you didn't know, it's like, what is it?
Pansexual is like, not really seeing gender when it comes to, like, sexual attraction stuff and romantic attraction.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter who's got what genitals. It's just, you like them. And then I'm in grade 12. I love reading and writing and consuming queer media in all forms. I have 2 dogs named Rosie and Zero, a cat named Tim, who's a girl named Tim, because
cool.
Screw gender roles, and a bird named Casey. I want to go into psychology to become a professor in the future, which is one of the reasons I'm on this podcast.
My name's River. I'm in 10th grade. I enjoy writing books. I do write them. I just don't publish them anywhere. I also have a really big love for business, and I do want to become a business owner, like businesswoman, entrepreneur in the near future.
Do you have any idea of what kind of business you want to get into? Like, what you want to create?
So far, I'm mostly into doing jewelry right now. So I'm, looking into jewelry, looking into vendors, all that stuff. But hopefully, in the near future, I just want to put my own boutique with everything.
That sounds cool.
Very nice. So now we will get into how to react to and support coming out.
The first thing to keep in mind is to always respect their identity. Don't question their identity. Like, are you sure you don't act gay? You could pass as straight. These are not appropriate responses.
So then next, don't out them to others. So what that means is don't tell other people that they're not straight or cisgender, because it's not your thing to tell.
Yeah, it's not exactly appropriate to go around telling everybody.
It's very inappropriate. So just keep it to yourself and make sure if they are trans, you ask who you can use their pronouns around.
Yeah.
Because some people might not be out for reasons like safety. So just don't out them. Don't out them. Bad thing. Don't do it.
Do not assume things about them. Them telling you that they're this sexuality, that does not mean they like you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that. They have trust in you, and they're trusting you with this. So they do not think you're gay as well. If they come out to you, that doesn't mean they also think you're gay. It just means that, okay, I'm coming out to you, I trust you, this don't mean I like you.
Yeah. I mean, also, if you get offended by that, then I feel like you should have some self-reflection as well.
Yes, most definitely. And then, don't assume things about their identity. Just because someone comes out as, trans,
just don't really assume anything.
Don't
like,
assume
stereotypes.
Okay, sure, you've seen a movie about this, or you saw an article on this or a video about that. That doesn't always mean that it goes with what this person told you.
Yeah.
So, for example, a trans person doesn't always want to medically transition. So don't just assume they're going to or they're not going to. So just ask questions.
Yeah.
But appropriate questions.
We'll get into those.
Yeah, don't be like super invasive or anything. You can ask questions, but do not, and off that topic, you can ask questions, but don't be rude or insensitive or ask any inappropriate questions. For example, inappropriate questions would look like, so if you're trans, when are you getting surgery? Body and sex questions are usually off the table as well. Aren't you too young to know? These are all questions of inappropriate things and things you shouldn't really be asking. Appropriate questions, though, would look like, I have to admit that I actually don't know what pansexual means. I can look it up, of course. But I'd love to know what it means to you, if you're willing, up for sharing. This is a respectful way for asking a question by telling them that you always will educate yourself by yourself, but it is a good way to learn about people's individual identities, because everybody is different. What can I do to support you as a trans person, or who else are you out to? Because it's always important to know who you're allowed to talk about it with, I suppose.
Yeah, so I have friends that are out to some people, and though it's hard for them, we still use their pronouns to, like, them, but not to everyone. So you can't force someone to come out to everyone, so you have to abide by their rules. So next is educate yourself. So listen to queer voices in person or online. So online is a really good resource, but make sure you're listening to the right ones, because
some of them have lies.
Some of them are terrible. Like, for example, I'm calling someone out that will never listen to this. Calvin Guerra is not that great. I'm not sure if any of... We don't know Calvin Guerra. Okay.
No.
So Calvin Guerra is a trans man on YouTube who, I think the term is transmedicalism.
Oh, okay.
So Calvin says that if you don't have dysphoria, you're not trans. And honestly, I don't have an opinion, because I do have dysphoria, but I know other people can be different. And Calvin also thinks, non-binary people don't exist, or something like
That's
that.
stupid,
I don't know.
That's
honestly.
dumb.
Or did at the time that I watched him on YouTube, which I did do because I was 11. So, yeah. So then next, you can read a book or article. So, do we have any examples of articles that we, maybe not BuzzFeed.
Don't
BuzzFeed.
I read a
is,
lot of. There's this one. I follow a couple of different queer. What would you call it? A news
outlets.
Yeah, a couple of different queers, news outlets. There's this one called Them online and stuff, and I follow them, and also Pink News, where they report about different queer things that have happened and stuff. So, yeah, I like reading them because they've got a couple of good articles.
So then, say for example, if your friend comes out to you as trans feminine, or trans femme for short, do your research on what other trans femmes are like and their stories and experiences. So you don't want to be taught every single thing by that person, unless they're like, I want to tell you. So don't make them teach you. Yeah. So,
don't force them to, educate you. Feel free to, go online, because you have this whole, platform to just do all the research you want, so I don't know why you'd pressure anybody into doing that.
Yeah. So, just make sure you're educating yourself by yourself, as well as by the person, because everyone is different.
Yeah. Next is inappropriate responses to someone coming out. Never say this to anybody. I always knew. That's rude, first off. Or another one is, I'm not surprised. That's really rude, especially if someone's trusting you with this. You can't, this goes back to assuming stuff. So, don't be rude and just be blunt about it. They're trusting you with this.
Yeah, and even if you thought, it's very dismissive of someone's identity.
Yeah.
Trying to trust you like this and just being like, oh, whatever.
Them coming out to you does not mean it's all about you.
Yeah.
and they might laugh if you say, I'm not surprised. Like, oh my God, you acted so gay. I never would have guessed. Like, that's also putting people in a box.
Yeah,
So, like...
That's making them think maybe they should never have told you about it.
Yeah.
Another one is, it's not a big deal. If you look now and look at all the LGBTQ people who are still coming out to this day, it is a big deal because it takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of courage
And
to
a
come
lot of
out.
time.
And a lot of time. Like, people have to think about it. So you saying it's not a big deal, that kind of just makes them think, okay, wow, maybe I shouldn't have come out to you or anything like that.
No.
I love you anyways. That means you just push away what they just told you.
It's the anyways is the key word. That means you love them despite their sexuality or gender, instead of also because of that.
Yeah, so if you're going to say it, don't put the anyways, say it like you actually mean it.
Yeah, instead of just being like, well, even if you are, like, that doesn't matter, and, like, it's
that
kind
just
of...
sounds forced.
Yeah.
Another one is, I can't believe you didn't tell me. Like we said before, it takes courage. A lot of that, too. So if they didn't tell you before, that's probably because they were still in the closet.
Or they haven't figured it out yet. I mean, it takes time.
You can't just, one minute you know you're this sexuality. No, it takes a lot of thinking. And it kind of makes them uncomfortable, you say that.
Yeah. Some appropriate responses to someone coming out. Recognize the importance of this moment. Thank you for, saying thank you for telling me. Tell them that you appreciate that they put this trust into you. Maybe ask them if you want to celebrate. This can be an important moment for them. Maybe they want to do something with you, hang out or something. Ask them how you can support them. Whether this means,
using the right pronouns?
Using the right pronouns, or maybe helping them, I don't know. What else could you do to support?
Help them come out to other people.
Yeah, help them come out to other people. Be there for them if they've ever experienced issues, maybe.
Yeah, so next we will talk about, two of us will talk about our coming out experiences. So I came out quite a few times because I just came out as my identity changed. So I always kind of knew that I was pansexual or bisexual. I kind of fluctuate between those two terms. So I always knew that I was pansexual because, at first I knew I was bisexual because I didn't know what pansexual was. But then, I always knew that I liked girls and guys and everyone in between. Even when there weren't many people in between. I'm not saying it's more popular now, but a lot
more people are out because it's safer.
Yeah. So it's a relatively more accepting community, and it's, anyways. So I came out, I don't know when, in middle school. I came out for my sexuality. I said I was pansexual by posting it on Instagram.
Oh my God.
And it was because that was where most of the people that I knew me from. So doing it on Instagram would just let everyone know at the same time.
Just all at once.
Yeah. And then, oh my God, funny story. Someone asked me, what does pansexual mean? And then I was like, I like everyone no matter what their gender, as long as I actually like the person. And she was like, okay, will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, oh my God. And I thought she was joking. And then she asked me again, and it was like, oh my God.
This is real.
What? It's surprising how many people will actually like a person. A lot of people think nobody likes me, romantically. So a lot of people think they don't like you platonically either. But you trust me. At least someone does. Even if it's not, like, a deep connection, someone has a crush on you right now. Literally, someone. It could even be me.
There's gotta be, like, one person out there.
Yes, at least one person has a crush on you. So don't feel bad. If they don't tell you, it's their choice, you know. Don't pressure someone to, like, don't say, like, hey, do you like me? That's weird.
That's
but
weird, just going up to the person and be straightforward about that. And
like, sometimes it's okay to be blunt, but, like, that's just kind of weird. Hey, you know, I've been thinking, I think you like me.
Yeah,
do
that's
I?
that's just weird.
No, and then you just hear him saying, no, I don't. And then you're just embarrassed, staying there like, oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, okay, so my coming out. After I came out for my sexuality, there was only one negative response to that, and it was someone I literally didn't even know. And, like, he commented on my post with the pansexual flag with a sick emoji, and it was like, what? Who are you?
I don't even know you, dude.
Yeah. It was someone's little brother, and it was weird. And I still have a grudge against him today. But then my gender, I had to come out so many times for that. I came out basically just by changing my pronouns. And I came out on my spam account on Instagram to all my like, close friends. At the same time, I said, like, I'm genderqueer. And then I was like, no, I'm not. And I said, well, I'm actually agender. And no, I said non-binary first, then genderqueer, then agender. And I think agender works for me. It has for a good few months, so that is what I'm sticking with for now. I may have something to do with flux, some flux suffix identity, because there's, like, spikes of male in me. So, like, it might be, like, demi-boy flux, if that's even an identity. I can make it. I can make it if it isn't one.
Now.
Yeah. It only takes one person to make an identity. So, I came out to my parents through an email because I was like, oh my god, I'm not saying that in person. And then I emailed my mom, and then my mom showed my dad without asking me, and that was like, It wasn't bad, though, because they supported me, supposedly. Anyways, so after I told my parents, I had a conversation with my father, and he asked me, like, okay, so do you want to be a boy? Because I'm assigned female at birth. And, which is AFAB. Assigned female at birth, AFAB, and then AMAB is assigned male at birth. So those are terms, you know, if you didn't know those, you learn something new every day. So I said, no, I don't want to be a boy, but hey, I might. I don't know.
Look, who knows? It's out there.
Yeah. So, and personally, I am going to half medically transition. Hopefully by the time this podcast ends, my voice is dropped, and, like, that's the only change you'll see from a podcast. But
yeah.
I want to go on testosterone, which is the male hormone, and I've already been referred to a doctor, and I'm just waiting for them to call me. So I am very excited for that. And Avery, did you want to talk?
Sure. Okay, so I'm bisexual and transmasc. So I've known that I was bisexual since, like, 7th grade. My coming out wasn't, like, super big or anything. It was one of those things where it was, I don't know, it was just kind of natural, you know? Like, it just felt like a natural next step. And, honestly, realizing it was, I realized it in the weirdest way, where someone was just like, it was like this girl, and she was just like, I like you, let's date. And I was just like, okay, I guess. And it just kind of happened. I was just like, all right. And it was just like, yeah, just like that. And, I don't know. My parents know that I'm bisexual, so... But it was one of those things where you tell them at first, and they're like, all right, whatever. You're obviously too young to know. And then 2 years later, you're talking about it, and they're like, are you still? Oh, okay. Like, I didn't realize you were still... Okay. But I think they take me more seriously now about that, so... It's kind of just, like, cool or whatever, so... Coming out as transmasc. I realized in 9th grade, like right before quarantine, I started questioning my identity. So I'd kind of just, like, switch labels, honestly, like, every other week. And I'd keep flipping back and forth, because I'm the most indecisive person ever. So I'd be like, the word, I was thinking of it. That word that's, like, not feminine, not masculine, like... Androgynous, yeah. I was just like, am I androgynous? And then I was like, no, I'm non-binary. And then I was like, no, I think I thought I was a trans guy for a while, and then I was like, no, I'm non-binary, and then I was like, maybe I'm agender, but I'm transmasc, and that's for sure, because I've known for, like, a year now, so I kind of just come out to my teachers at the beginning of every semester and just tell them these are my name and pronouns, and just use them, and that's that. My siblings know, and all of my friends know. I haven't really told my parents yet. Like, my dad's kind of cool with it, but I'm pretty sure my mom might be transphobic, so we're just gonna leave it at that, because she's not, like, directly transphobic where she's like, I hate trans people. It's more in a way where she's like, I physically cannot understand what being trans is. She said a lot of weird things about being queer and trans and stuff, so I just kind of, it's one of those things you just kind of leave alone.
Yeah.
My dad's pretty cool with it, though, so I don't even know how that works. Like, do you come out because one parent's cool with it, or do you not because the other parent, like, is, like, kind of transphobic? I don't know, so we're just gonna leave it alone for now. Yeah. Yeah, but otherwise I'm pretty much out to everybody, so that's just... medically wise, I think if I were to do anything, I'd probably go on testosterone. Maybe get, like, surgery. You know, it's one of those things you gotta think about and stuff, so.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so. Those are futuristic things, though.
Yeah.
Just going with the flow for now.
And then Avery talked about, coming out to your teachers, and I have not done that. So my teachers are misgendering me every single day, and it's not their fault because I haven't told them. So I feel like because coming out is such a big thing, it can be hard to come out, like, casually, but obviously
it's really
not.
hard.
Oh, it's
no,
not.
I find
it
it hard every time. Like, I find it really hard because I get so nervous. Because, like, what if this time's a bad reaction? But honestly, I've always had just, like, pretty chill reactions, especially from my teachers and stuff, where they're just like, all right, you know? Like, just, they're all really chill and stuff, so, yeah. I think I got lucky.
Yeah. So, I know my teachers, my current teachers, one is obsessed with intersectionality, so he would be delighted that I'm not cisgender. And my other teachers, they would use my pronouns. I know they would. But it's still like I've already come out. Why do I have to do it every single time I meet someone new?
Yeah. I feel like you have to come out a lot more as trans than you do as, than, like, asexuality, you know? Because pronouns and stuff, you constantly have to tell people to use the right ones, but...
Yeah, I might just get my pronouns tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah, just, like, please use the right ones. They're literally on my forehead. Why are you still misgendering me?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, I do have tattoos, so I might, like, tattoo it somewhere on myself. Like,
that would be
somewhere.
Cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. Just hope they don't change.
Yeah.
But, is that all?
I don't know. I guess that's all.
So if you guys want more, we will have an Instagram page eventually. Someday.
Yeah. Soon.
Yes. So, if you guys want to comment on our podcast, ask questions.
If you have any ideas what you want us to talk about?
Yeah, we will eventually have a Instagram page that you can DM us at. And the next episode will be insensitive jokes, so we will be calling out many people. Not directly, but calling them out. And you can call out your friends. So, that's the end of our 5th episode.
River, she, her.
Ripley, they, them.
And Avery, he, him. He, they.
Messed up your own pronouns. So, we are signing off.